Hello, friends. My name is Eduardo Rincón. I work for the Autonomous University of the State of Mexico. And on behalf of my co-authors, Eduardo González and Ana Gabriela, I am presenting our paper entitled Constructal Evolution of the Solar Oven, Tolokatsin 2021. Before my time has finished, please let me read this brief summary of the presentation. The first design of a Tolokatsin solar oven was developed in 1995. It consisted of a three-dimensional, non-imaging solar concentrator made up of 3 pairs of single curvature mirrors plus a pair of flat mirrors. Its design evolved according to the Constructal theory towards a furnace with 2 concentration stages. The first one formed by 8 mirrors of simple curvature that direct sunlight from a regular octagonal opening area towards a cavity whose opening area is square, within which this radiation is directed towards a straight circular cylindrical absorber by means of a pair of mirrors that are the evolving surfaces of said absorber, plus a pair of transverse flat mirrors. This version is known as Tolokatsin 2020. Now, in order to increase the fraction of diffuse radiation that reaches the absorber, it has been proposed to use a thin Fresnel lens at the opening of the first concentration stage. It has the additional advantage of decreasing the average number of reflections from the concentrator, which contributes to increasing its optical efficiency, but has the disadvantages of constituting an additional obstacle to light on its way to the absorber. Thus, its usefulness perhaps could be restricted to semi-cloudy days, where the fraction of diffuse solar radiation is the predominant one. This presentation describes the design and craftsmanship of the new concentrator named Tolokatsin 2021. From the early design, our solar oven evolved based on the Constructal law stated by Professor Adrian Bellan with his own words, as you can read here. For a finite size flow system to persist in time to live, its configuration must evolve in such a way that provides easier access to the currents that flow through it. Everything that flows, whether animate or inanimate, is a flow system. All flow systems generate shape and structure to facilitate this movement across a landscape filled with resistance. In solar ovens, the flows are of concentrated sunlight, which must flow through transparent covers, mirrors, lenses, until it hits the absorber. Well, we simply made changes in order to facilitate these flows. In order to get high enough temperatures for frying and fast cooking, solar concentration is often used in solar cookers, but too high temperatures can create toxic substances, burn the meals, and they always reduce the thermal efficiency of the cookers. The vast majority of solar concentrators, both commercial and research, employ parabolic cross-sectional mirrors, but these have the disadvantages indicated in this figure. They need solar tracking, only work with beam radiation, needs expensive mirrors, and only can reach 1/4 of the thermodynamic limit. The matter of classical optics has been to resolve problems such as the designing, imaging-forming optical systems of a very large apertures. Its applications include devices such as telescopes, microscopes, radiometers, variable focus lenses, etc. It is based on the theory of electromagnetic waves and includes Snell's law of refraction and the phenomena of diffraction, interference, and even the photoelectric effect. By contrast, in non-imaging optics, developed just over half a century ago by Zoll and Winston, the then Soviet Maranov and Melnikov, as well as the German Plocke, among others. The underlying idea is rather than forming images of the light sources in a focal zone, it is decided to catch photons in a finite-sized zone, even if the image formed there has huge aberration and is fragmented. The solar concentrator with a flat absorber was the first to be discovered and was called compound parabolic concentrator, or CPC, because it is formed for the two-dimensional case by two cylindrical mirrors of parabolic section, as it's shown in this figure. This geometry is ideal for applications where the absorber is naturally flat, as in PV systems, but it's not quite good for applications like the heating of fluids, where the more adequate geometry is a cylindrical absorber of circular cross-section. On the right side of this slide, it is shown a CPC of this type. Their mirrors are no longer parabolic, even though the CPC name remains. The Tolokatsin solar ovens take advantage of these two geometries. The main drawback of CPCs occurs when the acceptance angle are small. The height of the mirrors becomes excessively large, and there is a need to truncate them. The optimal truncation is obtained when most of the area of the mirrors is truncated, and even so the consequent decrease in concentration doesn't prevent reaching out the required temperatures and radiative flow. In this figure, the dotted lines are the truncated portions of the mirrors. The height aperture radius are usually lesser than 1/2 of the full CPCs. Here we have a sketch of the Tolokatsin basic model. The highlight point here is that they get an effective 3D solar concentration using only single curvature mirrors. This makes it very easy to manufacture from reflective anodized aluminum sheets for solar applications. Note the container of hermetic closure. The solar cooker works pressurized. Here, two solar cookers of the first model are shown with their containers open. Note the stainless steel trays with cooked meals inside them. These were rabbits, I remember. The operation temperature beneath irradiances of the order of 700 watts per square meter were around 120 degrees Celsius, so practically all food recipes could be cooked on time. Lots of meals were prepared with this model in the campus of the Autonomous University of Mexico City, where every Thursday there were free solar meals open to everybody to demonstrate this simple technology. There are still some videos in the internet from those times. On the left side of this slide, you see the original 1995 model. It works very well, or could be improved by using 4 mirrors instead of 2 in the first stage of concentration, as it's shown in the model on the right side. This improved model has 19 liters of internal volume, where 1 or more trays of stainless steel are placed, and is able to reach stagnation temperatures above 140 degrees. However, its optical efficiency could be improved by reducing the average number of reflections by coating the corners that form the mirrors of the first stage of concentration. The temperature is a function of several factors, in particular of the solar concentration, the optical efficiency and how well it can be thermal isolated. The optical efficiency increases its value by reducing the average number of reflections. Here n is that number of reflections. This led to the Tolokatsin 2020 model, which has a first stage of concentration with 8 single curvature mirrors optimally truncated. In B, it is shown how the absorber is positioned. In turn, the food trays are placed inside the absorber. Ray tracing procedures using Intel's salt tray software were used to assess the optical performance of the new model. With these results, and this slide summarizes the Constructal evolution of the Tolokatsin solar cookers. While its complexity increases, its performance improves. That's worth it? I think yes. Despite its apparent sophistication, it can be manufactured at home using basic tools, as is shown in these photographs. Here are our friends. Now, with the idea of increasing the portion of diffuse radiation and to further reduce the average numbers of reflection, which would increase the optical efficiency even more, namely, it's proposed to place this kind of double transparent wedge. Actually, we need 8 wedges, which function as convergent lenses. They would have the drawback of constituting another barrier to radiative flux towards the absorber, so that there is a trade-off between reducing the number of reflections and slightly blocking some radiation. This slide shows the ray tracing results for a Tolokatsin 2021 with a convergent lens and a double transparent cover compared with the same concentration without the lenses and the transparent covers. The optical efficiencies with and without them are 54% and 81% respectively. So it's needed an experimental comparison in clear and cloudy days in order to conclude if indeed there is a significant improvement in the performance of the solar oven. And that's all. Thank you very much. If you have got some questions, you can ask. Here is my email address, and I have time to directly answer the question. Thank you very much.